everybody, you're listening to the Hisessions Hawaii podcast where we talk about everything local and beyond. I'm John Yamasato, your host, and joining me today is Mr. Kyle Shimabukuro.
Hello.
And Devon Nekoba.
What's up? Why are you talking so fast?
Well, I don't know. I had a lot of sugar. There was
It's like, hello, welcome to the Hub.
There was a Nestle Crunch bar that fell on the floor at Ruger Market, and then I stepped on it. And I felt guilty, like I didn't want to put it back, so I bought it. So I ate that, and then I drank a soda. So maybe that has something to do with it.
I saw the whole thing go down. It was pretty funny. Like he was far away.
Yeah.
The thing fell down from the shelf like this.
Yeah.
Then he walked up to it and stepped on it.
What?
I didn't step on it on purpose, though.
Huh?
I didn't see it until I
I
stepped
thought
on
he
it.
saw it.
No,
I
no,
saw
no.
it fall.
What?
And he stepped on it.
What?
And then he looks down and he goes like this. And he puts it on the counter and he breaks it.
See, all the two stories are completely different. Like, I stepped on a chocolate bar accidentally, and I just bought it because I felt bad. And Kyle's going, oh, he just walked up to it and then stepped on it, and then he bought it. I'm like,
Who would have known that Kyle's version would be incorrect?
I know. Imagine that, yeah?
Yeah.
And it made it way more
I'm
dramatic
like,
too.
Yeah.
why did he walk up to it and step on it?
I was
right there.
I was walking to the counter and I felt something. I stepped on something. I looked down. And it's a Nestle Crunch bar, and I'm like, I can't. So then I was like debating, like, do I just put it back? Because it's still in the wrapper. But I'm like, I wouldn't want to, And then,
And then
like,
he ate it.
And then I'm like, I'm kind of hungry.
Like,
So I'm
Kyle
just gonna
makes
eat
it
that.
sound like you just walked up to it, fell on the ground, and then you went, oh, I'll step on it. And then you bite it
No,
and
yeah, I
eat
did
it.
not step
Now
on
I gotta
on
buy it
purpose.
now. I stepped on it.
I'm gonna drop lots of candy bars.
Just drop it behind you while you're walking. I want that one.
Can you imagine Halloween how busy he was? Giving all the candy.
It's like
It's all flat though.
bar mitzvah action.
All right.
Havana.
Before we begin, let me remind the listeners of all the ways they can stay in touch with the show. There's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Hisessions. You can go to SoundCloud. Ooh, should we get verified on Twitter? $8. I can go to SoundCloud, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts to listen to the podcast. And finally, you can email us at hisessions@yahoo.com. If you'd like to help the show get more music on the channel, you can go to patreon.com and donate. There you'll be more involved with the show and help determine who and what is filmed. No new Patreons today, but we had so many last week, so it's all good.
So we don't feel bad.
Yeah, we don't
that
feel
nobody
bad.
liked us enough to subscribe.
That's right. That's right. Please support Kupukupu Landscaping, Landscape Architects. You can call Kevin Yokomura. God, I don't know why I keep saying
dude.
Okumura.
You almost messed
Yokomura.
up his name.
808-722-8685 for a free estimate, or go to kupukupulandscaping.com. Of course, head over to Fort Ruger Market for all your Nestle Crunch needs. And of course, you can
And
find
Diamond Head Soda too, by the way.
Diamond Head Soda. Yeah, they have Diamond Head Soda there. You can go to Kumu 94.7 to find Devon, highlifeclothing.com to find Kyle, teamyamasato.com to find me. All right.
And don't
So-
forget to rate us on iTunes.
Oh,
Very
yes,
important.
yes. Sorry.
So
Thank
we
you.
can get into the algorithm or whatever that thing is.
Yeah. But
That's really gonna make people want to do it now.
I tell them they got to give us 5 stars or just don't
Or
rate us at all. It's fine.
And nobody reviewed us.
Nobody
Just keep
reviewed us.
talking.
Yeah. They're like, thank you.
all right, our guests today are Nolan and Jamie Hong. You can find Nolan at Hanging Out with
I
Nolan
can see you
Hong.
in the camera, Jimmy, when you're making that face.
And good friends of the show. So this has been a good month because so far everyone who's come in has been like someone that we know pretty intimately.
I thought
and
you were going to say, oh, somebody we like.
No,
As opposed to what?
we like everybody. that
I
comes
know,
into
but
the show.
it sounded like you were going to go in a very bad
Yeah,
place.
this has
or
been
something.
just a talk story month so far.
Yeah.
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 So we're going to talk to Nolan and Jamie about what they're up to nowadays, but then also do a round of general topics. Ooh, maybe we'll do
A
trending
round.
topics.
And a surprise performance.
Surprise performance. Yeah. But how are you guys doing?
I'm doing great. Jamie, probably not so much.
I know Jamie does not like to be on camera, but we appreciate you anyway. for
She's
coming.
turning beet red and she's not even saying anything.
I know. It's a good thing this is not filmed.
But how
And-
can you not be used to being on film or talking? You do it all the time now.
What are you talking about? What are you talking
I seen you cold do stuff with Nolan on camera before.
On live streams.
Yeah, live streams
Yeah.
and stuff.
Nobody watches.
I watched it.
I actually like the disembodied voice sort of chiming in.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
are
yeah.
always- those are always fun. You hear the cackle, Jamie's cackle, and then you know something funny happened for sure.
And I have to preface for those who don't know us that she doesn't like to talk. And so I may talk a lot and people will be like, man, he's such a chauvinist. He doesn't let his wife talk. If I try to make her talk, she's going to be mad at me. So I'm trying to do like self-preservation by talking. So don't judge me like that.
Well, Nolan is going to talk because you're kind of a personality. You know,
Yeah,
you do
not
host
kind of.
things, you do MC work, you do live shows, things of that
does.
nature.
Did Magnum PI and NCIS.
Yeah, actor.
Yeah,
All
those
that
of
kind
you
of stuff.
who are watching probably go, I seen that guy before. I
Yeah.
can't place it where,
Yeah.
but he's pretty
He's
much
everywhere.
everywhere. He was what Devon Nekoba was when he was
I
younger
knew that
kids.
was coming. I knew that was coming.
You know when Devon was on TV and doing all the gigs and then got old, and then Nolan came up the ranks, and now Nolan is the new
Nolan
Devon.
is the new
He's not.
Devon.
He is not wrong. Actually, it's
Yeah.
actually true. Yeah.
And then next you could start playing the Kynes roles.
What? Pat Morita.
What is his name?
Alan
Alan
Okubo.
Okubo.
Alan Okubo.
Alan-
I got a little ways to go before I hit Alan.
Yeah.
And Alan is holding on,
Yeah.
man.
Who's
He's
the
like,
next?
he's like,
Really?
yeah,
Is there a new Nolan Hong on the way up right now? And
Nope.
he's a teenager.
There's
I think
nobody.
Nobody, right?
There's nobody.
It's the last
Nolan's got his
Asian Mohicans.
Yeah, he's got the
Keep looking over my shoulder.
looking
Though.
for an Asian guy, an Asian smiley guy who doesn't speak Pigeon and
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, you could say Grant Uchida earlier, and maybe he could be
Oh
the
yeah,
next
Oh, yeah,
one.
Grant.
Grant. Nice guy.
He's a little younger than us.
Yeah, yeah,
he
He's
is.
got some time.
Okay.
I do have to say though, of all of the things that I've done, Devon named the 2 shows that I
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
been on.
I thought you did.
No,
It got cut.
Oh, it was Doogie.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
I
it got
did.
cut. That's right. See,
so
you
I,
did it.
I
It
never
just
did
got cut.
NCIS, and then I did Magnum, but nobody ever saw it because it got cut.
But
It's
he got
okay.
paid.
Yeah.
Daryl Bonilla, same thing. And
No.
Daryl still gets residuals from that episode, even
Oh,
though he
really?
was not
Yeah.
in the episode. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I got paid like overtime because they actually
Oh,
the day
nice.
that I was supposed to shoot got rained out, so they paid me for that day. Had me come back a second day, and then they didn't show it. But then every time they air it, I keep getting
Yep.
paid for it.
Good
So
for
it's-
you.
No, I
awesome.
got a question. So, doing these shows, are you doing it because one is just a lot of fun? Because I've always heard like extra work or doing these times, it's like long days of just
Yeah.
But
sitting
it's
around.
different though. Like he's an actor who gets
Oh, he gets like.
speaking parts
Oh, okay.
in shows. So you have extra work is a very specific thing, right? So you get called onto the set. You
Yeah.
sit there all day, and
Right.
they go, "Okay, we need 5 people over here. We need 10 people over there. Walk." And then you walk through the scene, and then you're done, right?
Uh-huh.
And you have to be just good enough that you don't look at the camera like, right? You got to be that,
Yeah.
right? You got to be
Right.
that guy. But you can't be so memorable that when you walk across, they can't use you again.
Oh,
Because we have friends who
interesting.
do extra work. I have a good friend of mine who does extra work, and he works every day on some show somewhere. He's either on Magnum or he's in NCIS or he's in some sort of movie.
Does he
But
change
you-
his appearance then?
No, you just never see him. So he's cop number 5 standing in a corner while the 2 main characters are talking, and it's blurry, but you see somebody there, right? What Nolan does is Nolan is an actor in the show, so they cast him in a speaking part. So
Okay.
a speaking part, you make way more money, but it also means that once you do it, then you're pretty much toast for the next couple seasons, unless they bring your character back. So, but sorry, extra work people, but doing a part where you're speaking is better.
I
He
see.
Oh,
gets
yeah,
a
you think so?
trailer. He gets
Really?
a trailer.
Uh,
But sometimes the toilet doesn't work.
In the trailer?
that's
they-
true.
Do they
That's
tell
true.
you that beforehand? Because that would be important information.
Are you
really?
sharing it with somebody?
No,
No, you get
Wow,
it
you
all
get your
to-
own personal trailer.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
usually has like old technology in there, like a CD player or something. It's
Yeah.
like, wow, look
Yeah.
at this. Can't do anything with it, but
But the AC works, man. They always make sure the AC works. It's great.
You've been mostly on speaking roles too, Devon, because I remember you being a security guard in a super tight uniform for one of those things. What was
Yes.
it? The Hawaii 5 or
That was
something?
Hawaii 5
Yeah.
yeah.
He was
But
a
now-
security
but now-
guard.
But
Oh,
now,
what was it?
I was
Oh,
an airport
TSA
security
agent.
TSA.
Yeah.
he was the
But
head-
now
the head of-
Nolan gets all those roles.
Yeah.
So I'll go
Yeah.
and I'll audition.
My
And then they'll
uniform's
say,
fit, though.
and then they'll say, ooh, and then they'll say Nolan is coming on. And I go,
Yeah,
okay,
you
I'm not gonna-
kupun it out already.
Pretty much,
You
yeah.
got Makuli extra
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Well, they need the old people for stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah, you need old people for stuff.
right? No, what I'm
I still
saying
want to
is,
give you the finger right now. Yeah, I'll do it with my.
Like those geriatric medicines that they, pharmaceutical companies and stuff.
Righteous, yes.
Yeah.
no, what I'm saying is every age there needs extras and speaking roles.
Good way of covering
I mean,
it,
look
But
John.
he's in the right now. Nolan is.
He's in the
we're talking
pocket.
about you like you're not here, but yeah,
Yeah.
Nolan is in that
In that
sweet spot
pocket.
where you're old enough where you can act well,
Yeah.
and they go, "Oh, we need that guy,"
Yeah.
but you're not so old that they go, "Oh, no." Like he can play a big range. He
Yeah.
can play from the 20s up to like 40 something.
Devin remembers those days
I
fondly.
cannot. Yeah, I cannot play those roles anymore. So I'm
Okay,
like,
so
now I'm getting parts, and they're like, "Oh, can you come read for this part for Magnum PI?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I go, I look at the side, and it's like for a 60-year-old man, and I'm like, "Oh shit, okay."
Wow.
Wow,
See, I wouldn't
that's
put
where
you
I'm at.
there.
Well,
Well,
got
they do.
they got to make your hair more gray though, right? If you're playing a 60-year-old man.
No, not necessarily.
Really?
I could be a really vain 60-year-old man and just color my hair.
I guess.
Or I
so.
could be Okinawan.
I thought or it could be you. And you would have been within your right to do that.
Yeah, you would've been.
exactly.
You
But
miss it.
I don't do stuff like that.
I
Your
just
heart is pure.
Yeah.
I threw him that pitch and he
Yeah.
forgot to hit it.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I just let it go. I let it happen.
That's pretty kind of you.
Could have even bunted a little.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Hey, man, age catches up to all of us.
Yeah.
I watched Bullet Train this weekend.
Uh-huh.
And for the first time ever in my life, I actually caught VFX on the. So Brad Pitt, at one time, there's this part where he's like flying through the air, the train, the train's like blowing up or something like that. And I can actually see where they digitally muted the bags under his eyes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I could see, because I do that for photos. When I'm editing photos, like
You do that to me a lot.
I do that to pretty much
you.
everybody.
Thank you very much.
Everyone has it. I mean, it's not unique. Everybody has it, So, when I'm trying to do a photo and then I'm trying to edit and make people look a little better, I'll just mute that a little bit. But I could see the actual digital thing, and it's like moving around his face right under his eyes, and I'm like, man, that's terrible work. Like, or the fact that I can see it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they do it to everybody, and it's probably in every movie. But I don't know what happened in that one part of the show that I just like. Oh, but I'm just saying, Brad Pitt.
By the way, speaking of shows, you should watch Peripheral.
What is that about?
Amazon. Chloe Grace Moretz. It's hard to describe.
Oh,
'Cause it's
someone
the-
else recommended that to me.
Yeah. So she plays a young woman who is who lives in 2039 or something. And then she's playing a video game that she thinks is a video game, and it's not. It's actually reanimating somebody in like 2099. And there's all this intrigue and stuff. But it's really well done.
too.
Her and the brother.
Was it on Netflix?
No, Amazon.
Amazon.
But Amazon does that thing where they don't do like the whole season at once.
Oh.
They make it way,
Yeah.
like The Boys was like that. Like every
Yes.
week they release. So they released about 4 episodes now. But Steph Sanchez
Mhm.
was watching it and talked about it. And I went, all right, fine, Steph, I'll watch it. And then I went, oh shit, wow, this is really good. It's
You're not the
thoughtful
first
and-
person that recommended that show.
Yeah.
But I'll probably wait till the whole season's through and then. Binge
watch
it.
Yeah, because you're like that. You're a completist that way.
I cannot wait.
He's
That's what I
the
did with
most
The Boys.
impatient person. Like I thought I was impatient. This guy, holy moly, he's impatient and he's lazy.
Yeah.
So those two things together are just See, it's a strange thing, but he really is. He will not do something because that's gonna take too much work. I don't
think you're
it's
lazy.
okay.
I think
I'm
you
lazy.
just
He
save
says
your-
it. He
you
admits
save your
it.
energy for something that has purpose.
That's right. Purpose to me.
Yeah.
Stop trying to be nice, bro. That's not your thing.
Speaking of nice, Nolan's afraid of birds like you.
Well, we just launched into that one.
Smooth transition.
All right, Carl, I'm glad you
All right,
waited
let's
until we
go
started
here.
the pod for that.
First of all, I'm not afraid of birds.
Nolan's
I just
afraid of
don't
birds.
care for birds. Well, actually, Yeah, I don't like birds.
Yeah, Nolan don't like
Just
birds.
in general. Like, I'm not a fan of birds.
Yeah, but you both don't like birds for different reasons.
I mean,
or-
I agree that birds are essential to our ecosystem and they provide sustenance for animals.
wow, that
Things
didn't
like that.
sound rehearsed at all.
But just in general, I guarantee you, if birds were as big as us, they would kill everything.
Yeah, they're vicious animals.
They're vicious animals.
What a horrific thing to say.
Yeah, they are. If every
That's John.
if every bird was the size of Big Bird and Foghorn Leghorn,
Oh my God.
Yeah,
we would be dead.
that's right.
Oh, we'd eat really,
So-
really well.
Yeah.
I don't know how you make a
yeah.
deep fried a chicken though.
Nolan, you're afraid of birds, yeah? You don't like them and you're afraid of them, yeah?
Well, yeah.
Why though?
Oh, yeah.
When did this start though? Because that's a concern.
So the fear comes from two things. One is the fear that they are going to infect me with some kind of avian flu or disease or
Oh, okay.
mites or fleas. Like they carry so many diseases and they're disgusting. And then the other is that they physically attack me, and I'm afraid that they're going to, claw or poke my eyes out and such.
But but the weirdest thing is
You gotta look at the camera when you do that,
they're,
Jamie.
they're attracted to him.
Really?
It's like his
Really?
Amakua or something. The
That's what I said, yeah.
I think-
Like
Wait,
they might
but
be
there's-
coming to tell me something. I'm like, get away from me.
Yeah.
I'm bringing you some very important news.
I always watch like me and him could be walking on the street and a bird would just like dive bomb him. And he'd be
Right
like,
in my face.
yeah. And he'd be like, like that. And I'm like, what the hell's going on, bro?
See, as judgy as she is and the face she makes, but she'll also afterwards go, it's true, they do come out.
Yeah. Right? They do, right, Jamie?
I would say so. This happens a lot that he jumps out of the way like violently. I mean,
No,
it
no,
happens a lot, and he'll just like run and then leave me there, and the bird will be far away, like way down there. But every once in a while, it comes at him,
Yeah.
and in like a way that I've never seen before. What was it? It was like hovering in front of the car one time.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, snap. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, this is
That's
recent.
bizarre.
We're driving and the
In midair.
yeah,
they're
and it's just like this,
Yeah.
right in front of the windshield. And I was like,
Wait,
what
but
is he doing?
but facing you or facing you?
Facing.
Facing. Like,
Wow.
straight at him.
like just standing still in front of the car
It
like
was
this.
playing
Standing
chicken.
still.
The bird
Flying.
was playing chicken with it.
Wow.
So like as I'm walking in real life, I can see it's coming its way, and I'm like, oh my god, like that. So instead, I was driving. I was like, oh my god, it's coming towards me, because she's like, but you're in the car. I'm like, but it might hit the windshield and it'll splatter, and that's gross. Then who's gonna clean up the mess? I'll have to.
Yeah,
and
you
then
will.
that's-
Yeah.
Then goes to my fear of catching a disease, because I gotta touch all.
But
this
did something
gross
happen to you?
innards.
Did you get sick from a bird before? Or
No.
Attacked by a bird?
So it all started because I was in high school sitting at the snack bar by myself eating one day in between classes, and I was deep in thought, and all these birds were walking around like looking for food. And then I just happened to study one of them, and I noticed it had one of those knuckle feet where like one toe's
yeah.
half eaten off, the other one's just a
Yeah,
stub, and it's just
yeah.
like limping like that. And
Mhm.
I was like, oh, that's gross. Like at first I felt sad for, I was like, oh no, what happened? Like who injured this bird and stuff? And then I looked at another bird. I'm like, well, fortunately birds have all their toes. And I looked, and the other one just had a nub, and I was like, oh, what the hell happened to that guy's foot?
The-
And I started looking, and all of them had
Yeah.
like deformed feet, and I was like, so gross. And then I was like, what if they have leprosy and that their toes and fingers?
No, I think
fell
that
off?
someone told me that their feet get caught in something.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
my
land
God.
on stuff, and then
Yeah.
they're trying to get away quick, and
It breaks off.
yeah.
Oh, well,
They just don't grow it back.
well, high
Yeah.
school me doesn't know this. And so then I think, oh, see, they're just full of all kinds of diseases and infectious bacteria. And then from that day on, I remember just being like, oh, what if it rubs its nub against my foot or something?
Wow,
And
that
then
is
my toe
birdist.
falls off. Yeah.
But
So
now
ever
that
since-
you know
Very
that now that
specific.
we have educated you and you know that the nub is from an accident, does that change your perspective?
No, because now they have a vendetta against me and they try to
No,
attack
no.
me
Oh, that's right.
physically.
Okay, John,
maim
that's
or
not-
harm me.
that one bird's looking at the other one and goes, Bob, check this
Yeah.
out.
But that's not your disdain.
No.
Yeah.
No, well, mine
He
is
doesn't like because they shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Well,
He doesn't- yeah.
actually the birds, to be honest, don't bother me too much. It's the people who feed the birds in the
Yeah.
park right outside my house that bother me.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh.
You know,
Like Tavana's mom.
like Tavana's mom.
That was the best. Ivana was on, the musician, right? Was on with us. We're talking about stuff, and Kyle goes, "Hey, tell about the birds. Tell
No, it
about
was
the
a
birds."
cats.
Was a cat.
Oh, it was a cats,
Yeah.
and then was birds, and then Tavana's like, "Oh yeah, my mom is the lady who feeds out this stuff." Sorry,
we
Tavana.
had a discussion, but
It was a funny. Yeah, we're like, "Ooh, okay."
no, because what happens is they feed the birds in the park, and then those hordes of birds go on my roof.
Yeah.
Because they're waiting for someone to come to the
Shit
park.
on
They're
your roof.
yeah, and they're just like standing there and like making noise and stuff, and pooping. Yeah, so that's why. But I don't have a thing too much against bird. It's the people. It's the people I don't like.
It always comes down
that
to the
makes it
people.
better, I guess. I'm
No, I
still
just
the
don't like the
monster for
birds.
hating these things.
Birds and cats are just doing what birds and cats are doing.
Yeah,
You know, it's the people that they should know better.
Encourage them.
They should know
Yeah,
better. Yeah,
yeah.
that's all. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
All
Gotcha.
right. So going back to my original question.
That was 20
ago.
minutes of the
Yeah.
podcast right there. We just talking about.
Yeah.
And you said we'd have nothing to talk
I
about.
know, right?
So wait, Nolan, when you take these roles, is it the hope that these roles will lead to more roles? And then like, are you trying to step up this thing to an acting thing? Or is it more like, hey, this is a fun hobby, so I go and do this one show and then I'll do this kind of off thing? Or whatever?
Yeah.
What is the mindset behind it, I guess?
So the mindset has changed throughout the years.
Okay.
When I first started, it was, and I was young, dreams and aspirations of making it to Hollywood and being like a big, Hollywood actor.
Mhm.
And then as I got through it, I was like, oh, that's kind of a crazy dream. And I should appreciate what I have here. So now it's just for fun. And I take it like, don't take it seriously. And it's like, it's no big deal. I'm just doing this for fun. Now I think I've kind of merged the two where I know I'm not trying to make like this crazy dream of like, oh, I'm going to be this huge movie star, but I appreciate that this is something I really love and enjoy. And I would love to craft it where I get more opportunities to do bigger and better things. But I don't take it so seriously where it's like, it's bigger than what it is. It's still fun. It's a source of joy for me. So now it's kind of both. Like I really enjoy doing it as something on the side, but there is a hope and a strategy, I guess, of like, I would like to
Doing
make
more.
this something bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you had the opportunity to take that next step and it would take up the majority of your day or your career,
Mhm.
would you do it?
So it depends on what it is for sure, because it has to match,
Let's say it was
But
a
yeah,
counterpart
most
role
likely.
for like Hawaii Five-O or Men on PI.
yeah.
Would you drop everything for that role?
I think so.
Hmm.
Because we're in the position where we could still,
Come back.
yeah. And we've already talked this out where
I know
Jamie
I'm looking
said,
at
like-
Jamie. And she's just like,
she's like, can you just make sure that they write in your contract that I get to be in your trailer
Uh,
so that she can still work on videos and in between scenes I come over and we work.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
I've spent so much time in these trailers. Like, yeah, we could totally do both because most of the times it's just hurry up, get there early, and then wait all day.
Yeah.
And
You
there's
just
Wi-Fi
want to
in the
make sure
trailers,
you're
right?
there.
no,
Yeah.
there's no Wi-Fi in the trailers.
We could figure
Yeah.
it out.
Oh.
We can get some kind of.
This actually ties into
hotspot.
a conversation that we had last night. So I was doing my normal Fortnite last night with my buddies. And one of the guys was saying, if you could be any kind of actor, like an action actor or a dramatic, what kind of actor would you want to be? And then one of the guys is like, I want to be Randall Park.
Huh.
And I was like,
Me too.
Randall Park? He's like, yeah, he's just kind of like, everyone knows kind of who he is, but he's just kind of there. He doesn't, you could be a Randall Park.
That was my dream.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're kindred spirit because he also was in his early days in high school and in college, he was a rapper.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
that's
That's
Yeah.
right.
And he's a good actor. He's
Yeah.
funny and
Mhm.
nope. He seems like a likable guy.
Yeah.
You know?
And he always does that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But I mean, he's done Marvel now. He's in that Blockbuster show on Hulu.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, so he's
Okay.
got a show where he's the
The main
lead in the
lead?
show.
Yeah.
Along with the girl from that police show with Andy Samberg. I can't remember the name of it.
What was he before? What role did he have before taking that sitcom?
before
That
Fresh Off the Boat?
Yeah, Fresh Off the Boat.
Not really that much.
I think
He's
that
doing
was
a lot
That was his
commercials.
launching
commercials
career,
and
yeah?
stuff.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, that thing launched him into the stratosphere.
Yeah, he was
but it was
good,
also
man.
because he's a he's a Asian who looks like he would be able to speak Chinese, but he doesn't speak any Chinese at all, or Korean or anything.
Yeah.
But he speaks so well that
Like Nolan,
and
Nolan
he can
speaks well.
and he can hit a comedic moment really, really well. Like he knows how to do it. So
Well, it can happen. You're still in that gap, Nolan, that you could actually get a career like that, man.
and I'll be very jealous and stare at my TV or stare at the motion picture screen and go, "That's supposed to be me, damn it." Fucking Nolan.
Well, Nolan would use his pull and bring you on as the.
That's why.
As his father.
I'm sitting here now. I'm sitting here, and they're asking Nolan all these questions about acting, and I'm like, okay, like, all right, I've never done that before.
What? So Devon.
No, too late now. He answered all your questions already.
Let's talk about more acting stuff.
What other things that I did more replaced by Nolan?
Let's talk about MC
Let's talk about
radio.
Let's talk about how much you you DJ'd and you MC a lot of weddings.
And how I love to sing "This Is How We Do It."
You like ice cream. Let's talk about that.
Well, actually, let's talk a little bit about your podcast and your Let's Play the Game. So those are two projects that you've been working on the podcast longer than this podcast.
You are on episode what now?
230 something.
216 is this week.
Oh.
216 is this week. Okay.
And he gets really, really famous guests.
The three of us were like 300.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You were one.
you were number one.
Yeah, I think I was number 6 or something.
Oh yeah. Well, they only asked me because I'm the guy that can show up on a weekday and 10 o'clock in the day. Or
they only ask us because they know us. They're like, we know the answers they're gonna give us.
But man, the list that you guys had as far as guests has been unbelievable. Tia Carrera.
For a while, I was like, "Oh, we're totally biting whatever gets the Nolan gets."
I know.
Yeah,
it's funny you say it because I had this like internal like competition with you guys where when you guys would get somebody, I'm like, "Ooh, they got that person. Now I can't get them for like 5 more weeks." And so I was like, "Dang it!" And then so it was always like my bar was like, if I get interesting enough guests that at least is close to yours, I'm like, okay, I'm still relevant.
Wow.
I still get relevant guests.
He was like, Tia Carrera, suck it, Hisessions. I got Tia Carrera.
We're the total opposite. We're like, Nolan got that person? Let's ask them.
Wasn't it a week? And Kyle's the one like, wasn't she on that one like a week ago? Whatever.
He goes, I'm gonna talk to Robert Casimiro, and I'm like, Nolan just had him. He was like, oh really? Remember? And he still hasn't come on.
Oh, good. Because I was gonna say that there was one guest that they were like, yeah, I'll be on, and I kept like hounding them, and they started ghosting me, and then they showed up on your podcast, and I was like,
no way.
Oh no, we got big times.
Tell us after the podcast. I don't know who it is.
So at least I can hold on to Uncle Robert.
Yeah,
I still got Robert. Right?
Yeah. But you release yours where now? Where can we find the podcast?
Pretty much all of the major podcast streaming apps. So Spotify, Apple, Play, Stitcher, or you just go to the website and it's there. But we try to put it anywhere that allows us to put it on there. Every now and again, I'll see a little box. It's like, here, you want to go here? Yes, click that.
You know what I wish you guys did more though is video.
So we're doing that now.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
That's one of the new initiatives this year was to get it became kind of like the podcast was kind of like my acting career.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, do it for fun and, don't take it too seriously and just like know that this is a huge blessing.
With video, you don't have to be all high tech like ours right here. An iPhone on a tripod.
But you even have like, bounce stuff. Like,
it is really nice.
Your set has like purpose. Mine, sometimes my laundry's in the background and stuff.
I remember one of us like that. Yeah. Went, oh, okay.
We just did one with one of the major networks
wow.
for one of the news shows. And she goes after, she goes, you could see all of our laundry hanging in the corner there.
My laundry.
Well, do you guys miss the studio? I remember when you guys had a little studio off of Restaurant Roadside.
So yeah, we miss it, but then we also really appreciate that we could be like super late and I just made a bagel and I'm like, oh shoot, we're going, and just run upstairs, click on.
That's true. It
switch
makes
them,
life a
like,
lot more convenient.
and here we are.
Yeah, it does make life convenient.
Yeah,
Good for you guys.
for real. One time back at the studio, I forgot that I had booked a guest and I didn't have him on my calendar. And thankfully he's a friend of ours. And she came, knock, and I opened my, hey, good to see you. What are you doing here? And she goes, you told me to come here for the podcast. I was like, I almost went, I did, but I was like, of course, yeah, you're right. Yeah, come in.
This is brand new information for
set
Jamie,
this
right?
Yeah, we weren't set for it or anything. I'm like, just hang out for a little minute. I just happened to need to unpack all of this equipment. And then
we're totally ready for you.
And then I just admit, I was like, I gotta be honest, I totally forgot about this.
When you do have guests coming on, what is your preparation like? Like John just has this, and then it's free flow.
And whatever's in his brain.
You know,
That's more than me, man.
Oh yeah, so it's really open to whatever conversation.
I'd like to say that's by design, and it kind of is now, but it started out just because I'm like, John, like if I don't want too much work. So same thing. It was like, it started off with, I just didn't want to do extra work, but I've learned that it actually has helped my process where, I guess it keeps me naturally inquisitive. And so we have more natural conversations. That just works for me, but it was born out of laziness.
Well, because for you're just one-on-one most of the time. So it's even harder than the three of us interviewing somebody, because we pick up each other's question. If they don't have.
Sometimes I run out of things. I'm like, I don't know what to ask next. And
John will just look at us.
His eyes get all big. We're like, okay, time to jump in with some questions.
So it does help having the three of us questioning somebody, but by yourself, you got to really be on your toes.
Yeah. Well, fortunately for me, I guess this is throughout however many years, like it started off where I was a terrible listener, and she would always complain just in our personal relationship. Like, you never ask me any questions. Like, you just tell me what you think and how you feel, but you've never asked how I feel. I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize. How do you feel? And that's kind of like when she forced me to start doing the interviews for our video projects that we do when we'd have to interview people. She'd be like, are you even paying attention? And I'm like, oh, I guess not. Because she's like, you don't ask any follow-up questions. Like, they'll give this great answer, and the natural follow-up question will be like, oh my gosh, that's insane. Like, why did this happen? And instead of like, oh, so moving on.
so your skill set got better, and you became a better person from doing this podcast.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like it tapped into being like, okay, I got to actually want to learn more about people. And in that process, I was like, oh, people are really interesting, and this is really a fascinating conversation, and it built this like.
And Jamie's on the side going, duh.
Well, is there any guest that you can say you learned a lot from just by speaking to them with your partner?
I mean, I learned from a lot of.
Like, I was going to say no,
but I can't. Like, it seems, and this is a cop out, but it seems like every guest, like, there'll be times where I'm like, most of the time I'll say I have no idea what we're going to talk about, and I'm kind of nervous. Like, could this be the one episode where we're just like
staring at each other?
But
life,
but there's always stuff that come up because we're just like talking story that it's like, really, that's so interesting, and I learned so much.
You never was worried or experienced a guest where they just give one word answers and you guys just stare at each other for 5 minutes?
I've experienced where the interview is difficult, but we fight through it and such. And fortunately, most of the ones that I've like had my thoughts of like, oh, that didn't go well. There's always at least one listener who will be like, I thought that was good. Like, and sometimes they'll pick out like, oh, I thought this episode was interesting. And I'll say, really? Because I actually thought it was terrible. I was like pulling teeth on that one. They're like, no, and they like call out certain stories. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess. I mean, so I think there's always something for someone, and I got to remember that too. But yeah.
Well, what made you start the podcast to begin with?
Oh. It actually has to do with Devon, kind of like indirectly.
Oh, man.
Indirectly, but kind of directly.
This is indirectly a Devon podcast.
Yeah.
What?
So it came from a source of heartache. It was a low point in my life. No,
Wow.
there's a time when Devon and Kumu were looking for his new co-host for the morning drive.
Oh yeah.
And I really wanted that. And no shade on Devon because he had no, pull for that. Like, of course. And we spoke about it too.
I did. I just didn't pick him.
Yeah.
No,
But then the station would be going like, young Devon? We can squeeze old Devon out?
Young Devon with old Devon? What? Yeah.
But it was something that I really wanted. And I worked hard at building this like grassroots like campaign to try and get as many.
He did a very good job. Everyone was very
Pushing for him.
Well, they were pushing for him. The hard thing was that it's two dudes, and
Yeah.
Very similar
while there are many
voices,
shows, while there are many shows that have two males on them, he and I really are. We're like mirror images of each other. So we're talking, and they're like, "Which one is Devon? Which one is Nolan?"
Oh, yeah.
Right. So it was almost a
It's not W.
Yeah.
yeah. And they're like, "Holy crap,
Yeah.
we can't have two of Devon."
Yeah.
But I mean, Nolan was good because he had a natural. He and I, obviously, because we know each other, have a natural chemistry, and he would be willing to try stuff and make me do shit that I didn't want to do,
He stretched
which ended,
you.
which would end up being very funny.
Yeah.
But then when we were talking about it, it was like, oh man, if we could do like a 3-person show, it'd be great.
Mm.
But yeah, it was not to be. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And I pushed for that and they said, no, it can't be done. And then 2 years later, they had a 3-person show. I was like, hey, guy.
That didn't last too long.
No,
though.
but
Yeah.
anyways,
wow.
that's neither here nor there. But the point was just that I had,
I can feel there a little bit of pain. And
yeah. There's still a little bit of that.
So this is where it all comes from. This is where he's like, I'm gonna take over all the stuff Devon does and make him irrelevant.
Where's Kelly Blue? I'm going to call an article on podcast. But what was funny about it was the fact that you were on a station that you rarely even listened to any of their music. You had no clue. So it was kind of like enjoyable to watch you get educated at the same time about that genre.
And it really upset Devon. That's not how you pronounce Sade.
How did you pronounce it?
I called
Sade.
it Sade.
I was like, dude,
Oh my God.
what?
There was another incident.
Yeah.
The instance that you guys.
That was Duran.
During
There was this one where it was
94.7.
I thought it was a Mariah Carey song.
Yeah.
Right. And then I sang the wrong lyrics, and it was actually not even a Mariah Carey song. It was a song she sampled, and Devon was like so upset about it. Yeah.
That's one thing he got on you. Not only age, but he has his musical catalog of knowledge.
Oh
is
yeah.
pretty amazing.
But I thought we said we weren't going to talk nicely about Devon.
That was it. I get that one.
Yeah.
I get that one.
And his knowledge of ice cream flavors too at the same time.
and
is-
movies,
and
because he
movies,
doesn't know
and
anything about
Yeah,
movies.
and Star Wars.
Really?
No, so when you didn't get the position, then you're like, well, I got to do something.
Yeah. Well, what it was too is because Jamie was like, you built this, momentum and this following, and all these people who were following you, and like you actually have a something that you could do with this. So what are you gonna do with it? And then I was like, I don't know. All I can think of is like make a podcast, but I don't know what it would be about. And so she's like, well, you should do a podcast. Like I think then you'd have control over it, and you can bring on this new little army of supporters and fans. And I was like, okay. So I actually the guest that I forgot I invited was the one that sparked it. Did you? Why would you do that? I worked so hard.
I didn't
deliver.
We didn't hear it. We
I
didn't hear it.
either.
We didn't hear it. We didn't hear it. It's okay.
Squeak.
It's okay. We didn't hear it. We didn't hear it. We didn't hear it. It's
But I
okay.
do know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So what it was is on a
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon, we ran into this friend at an expo, and she was like, "Oh, so what are you gonna do now?" And I was like, "Well, we're talking about doing a podcast, but I don't know what it would be about." And she's like, "Well, what do you like to do and stuff?" I was like, "Well, I don't know. I just like to hang out with my friends and talk story with them and stuff." She's like, "Well, why don't you do that?" And I was like, "Like a podcast where we just hang out with our friends and talk." And she's like, "That sounds interesting to me." And I was like, all right. And so I told Jamie, I said, yeah, that sounds great. And you have a bunch of interesting friends. And Kyle was the one that we came up with, like, where we're like,
Kyle.
she also said he's a great test because if it doesn't go well, then we'll know this isn't gonna work. But if we can get, a conversation with Kyle to be interesting and be like, then we'll know we're onto something.
Yeah, let's pick the most boring guy to interview, and if we can make something a goal.
You're definitely not boring, bro.
Yeah.
You're definitely not boring.
So within a day, Monday, she did like Google searches and figured out and trained herself how to start a podcast. And I think we recorded like a day later or something like that.
That's that's the thing I don't think people understand is how much of an influence Jamie has on what you do. Like how much she does to make everything go.
Yeah.
I'm
Because
the puppet master.
I know. It's actually quite impressive.
Well, I mean, without her, you'd be a mess.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't liking it to Voltron. Like everyone sees Voltron and she's the one inside going,
Yeah.
He's the princess.
But it's a great team because without you, all this wouldn't have happened.
Right.
Yep.
Honestly, so I'm
Man,
glad.
I just think
you guys
about my
have each
wife.
other.
Huh?
I was like, oh, I'm doing this podcast. She's like,
Okay.
good luck with that.
So supportive.
Yeah.
It's okay. Actually, all three of our wives are like
Yeah.
that. That's why we're in a room.
But
not
Sherry
in one of
actually
our
listens to this podcast.
She does.
Yeah, at least she
Yeah.
listens.
houses. And then
At least
what? She tells you, "Oh,
She just she doesn't give me any.
doesn't give you feedback?
Sometimes she goes, "Oh, that one was good," but that was about it. She doesn't really harp on it, but
Really?
she listens to it.
I don't think my wife even knows where to find our podcast.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mine neither.
She's too busy.
So that's good. That's good. You have a support.
yeah, good
Yeah.
for you guys.
But
It's not just a support. Like she's the one that, because for me, I was always the type that comes up with, all kinds of crazy ideas. And then even also like hopes and dreams for myself.
Yeah.
But then the backside of it is the self-doubt and the lack
Well-
of confidence. And so I would never act
and also
upon it.
and also the actual doing it.
Yeah,
Right.
because I knew you'd be. We used to talk a lot about future career and
Yeah.
stuff we wanted to do in life before he was with you, and we'll talk a lot about it, and nothing will get done. But once you guys got together and she got on board the Nolan
Yeah.
Hong,
Express.
Express, a lot of stuff got done that you dreamt about and talked about.
Yeah.
So thank you for being there for him.
Yeah. Thanks for making your husband
Yeah.
take over whatever I was doing.
And we turn it back to Devin's woes again.
Devin, we'll
seriously,
interview.
bro. Every time there's a commercial, the Food Line commercials. Hey, that's Nolan. Son of a. All right. Oh, look, insurance company.
You know
Hey,
what?
Hey, wait a second.
Our next podcast, we'll get a
Hey,
therapist
look.
for Devin.
Oh, look, it's Doogie Howser. Hey, that's Nolan.
Yeah, but you know what?
Devin, I
You
think
could have played the role I played. You would have been a great.
Yeah, thanks, man.
By the way.
I think you're too recognizable.
No, it's not that.
No,
That's
he
who the
had
hell
his
I
time
am.
in the sun. That's the problem.
Yeah.
When he
I mean,
did
there
that.
was 10 years ago,
there's
this
the
guy used
upside and
to.
There's a downside. I'm looking at the downside of the thing.
This-
So they go, wow, you're good, but we got Nolan because he's younger.
10 years ago, this guy was everywhere. We gotta admit that. Like
It's true.
I take a shower, he's on the radio. I go to watch TV, he's on the news or on a commercial. I couldn't escape him. So you had your day in the sun. Just
What?
retire.
Well, I just think
and
about that guy
live
from-
the golden years.
I think about that guy from CSI, the one with the cane from CSI Miami or whatever, the old guy. who was
David,
the coroner.
whatever his name is.
You think of that guy? You think of Devin?
Well,
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what?
He started acting like in his late 50s or something.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
and he
Sorry,
got on a big show or whatever.
Yeah. It's nothing
never-
about like you had your time in the sun. It's just it goes in waves.
Yeah, I'm just
Wow,
joking.
I've been sitting in the ocean on my board for kind of a long time now,
Oh, yeah.
and the wave just goes. Here comes Nolan.
Well, I will also say that I think, Devin, the difference too is that you aren't pursuing it as aggressively as I am because I did change agencies and I did go out and pursue it.
Yeah.
So I bet
Yeah.
I
But I
guarantee
mean-
if you did the same, like he would be doing.
He
more
went
and
the
more
theater route. He's everywhere
That's
in the theater.
true. Yeah. Every time I look at the
Yeah.
announcement,
Yeah.
the guy Devin's in this play too.
Yeah.
Which I
And
just
the
saw
lovely
another
thing
one.
is they come and see the shows.
Yeah, you see,
I
I want
went
a
to the
supportive
show.
friend.
No, you
I haven't
don't.
seen any of the shows since.
Talking about it.
Come see the shows.
I went to.
Yeah,
you
we
come to
went,
Joe Luck
yeah, we talking about. We went to Once Upon a Time Happily.
I thought you came to that to see me, though.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you
You
guys
can
went to see Nolan, not me.
Shh, he doesn't need to know.
Too many friends watching shows, bro.
Yeah.
So let's talk lastly about let's play the game.
Okay.
So explain to us what let's play the game is.
So this kind of goes in line with kind of everything we are talking about, like when opportunity that I wanted, I don't get, or then Jamie has encouraged or challenged me to figure out like, what can you do to make it happen and stuff. And so we had talked a lot about like, she's like, well, what do you want to do? What's your ideal kind of role or job? And I said, I really want to be a game show host. Like, I feel like that ties into all of the things that I love. Like, it's performance. I love emceeing. So it's like a lot of live crowd interaction and stuff. And I grew up watching game shows, like, cause that's all I did was
What's
watch
your
TV.
favorite game show?
My favorite game show is Family Feud.
Oh.
Like even from the original hosts and stuff.
Richard Dawson and stuff.
Yeah, like I just love this. Like you get to meet all these different people, and the way and the format of it has stayed the same this whole time because
people keep saying stupid stuff.
Yeah,
in their answers, and you go,
yeah.
really, really.
Now I think
Did
they're
you
just
ever see
making
that
stuff
one?
up.
Did you see that one with Steve Harvey,
Steve
where
Harvey.
the lady
Devil-
says
Devil.
"mommy" about 20 different times,
Yeah,
and trying to make it sound
yeah.
like right,
Mommy.
It's mommy. Oh
Yeah.
no, mommy.
Yeah.
What?
You know what would be good for you? You can make this happen, Jamie.
There
This
you
is how
go.
all of the bad things that have ever happened come. Sorry, Kyle always says
Kyle,
this.
you know what you should do?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when I bought like this power washer from Costco, and I got in big trouble. And I bought it with company funds.
I bet you,
Jamie's finding all this.
they probably still use it though. It was a good power washer.
Turns out they had one in the basement already.
Well, that's your fault. You should have looked. But here's a good one. Remember whose line was it anyway?
Oh yeah.
You could do a local version.
Don't worry, that's in the works. Sir.
Have like,
We
you know, this
we have some really cool game show
that's
ideas that
good one for
improv
you.
is
That's
happening.
perfect. That's
Yeah.
perfect for you.
So, and because you can't MC all of them,
Yeah.
I can MC.
what you mean? He can MC all of them. You can just
No,
participate.
he cannot, because he's gonna be the mogul behind the scenes, like making all the stuff.
He'll be the what's that guy's name?
Ryan Seacrest.
There you go.
He's
That'll work.
one of them.
That's what I want to do.
He can be-
He does both, right?
He can be your Ed McMahon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Byron Allen.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Although I really don't care for his interview style.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I hope he doesn't
Byron,
watch
but
this.
Byron Allen now owns a
That
TV
guy's dude,
station here.
That
Owns
guy's
everything.
rolling.
Here?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
rolling.
He bought
Oh.
KITV.
Can you edit that part out about me not liking his style? Holy
well-
smokes, that is terrible that I said that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No, but he owns multiple stations all across the nation.
That's awesome.
You know, and considering he started out being an entertainment reporter.
And then he was on Real People.
Yeah. Actually
Yeah,
started
yeah,
in
yeah.
Real People.
Yeah.
And then he just sort of slowly grew it and then became this big titan of
Good for
doing
him, man.
news. So he owns choke news stations all throughout
Yeah.
the nation. So that
But
could
yeah,
be you guys.
I think that, I mean, that's a huge inspiration because you could see that he made his opportunities for himself by doing that. So
Yeah.
that's what she's been challenging me to do. And so Let's Play the Game was born out of that, where I said, this is what I want to do. And my normal thing would be like, yeah, this is what I'd love to do. I'm just going to sit back and hope that one day someone out of the blue is going to be like, hey, I got this idea for a game show. You want to host it? I'm like, heck yeah, it happened. And she's like, you can't keep living your life like that.
Yeah.
You know, I think
No.
most
His actual thought of how it would happen was that he would become a big Hollywood movie star, like a A-list star.
Which I would get that by walking through the mall and
Yeah.
someone going, hey,
Oh, yeah.
you want to be in this movie?
Right, because that happens all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And then he would get the game show.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not that he wanted to be a big Hollywood star. He wanted to be a game show host, but the way to get that would,
Was to be a
would be,
big
yeah.
But
I'm
I
like,
would-
yeah.
that makes no sense
I would-
at all.
I would choose Hollywood star over game show host any day.
Well, you want to know why?
Yeah, why?
Because if I'm going to be a big Hollywood star, that means I got to memorize a lot of lines.
Yeah.
And that is something that Devon knows very well. I don't do very well.
No.
But with the
Oh.
game show, you're just ripping
Oh my
off
God,
the cuff.
no.
It's high. It's live.
No,
I'm
it-
comfortable with
it's just- when we're rehearsing once, I'd be sitting there like, Nolan, just Just get your script, man. Just get your script because you're not even close.
I was close. I got
No,
the idea, the gist
you were
of
not
what
even
the
close.
idea
It was
is.
so bad. I look
The
out at
words
Jamie
are
and
wrong.
she's in the audience going, oh.
Yeah, but doing commercials and being on network television, you gotta learn lines anyway.
But those are so short.
Oh.
Commercials, you have like 3 lines.
Yeah.
These spots on
That's my
Magnum.
bank.
Yeah, on Magnum, my line was, yeah, I think so.
That was your line.
Yeah,
Oh shit, I could do that.
the one for what is the Marvel one that I did? Mine was to the city, and then I walk on the bus, and I spent a whole day for that thing. But
What
I
was
just
that
watched
one?
it. What is it called?
That's how you said it though?
Invisible?
No.
Immortals.
No.
Eternals.
Oh.
No, not the Eternals.
No. It was the one that you and I both did that one then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called because it was pan-
Inhumans.
How many
The
hours-
Inhumans. Yeah, it was
yes.
Inhumans.
How many hours did you spend on that one line though?
Shooting it?
No, like practicing it.
Oh, none.
Oh, because I'll be practicing it over and over. To the city. To the city. To the city?
That's what the director's for.
2
The director tells you how to
The
say it.
city.
to the city. which syllable do you, right?
Yeah.
Joey
Sorry.
Tribbiani, what are you doing?
Are you mad?
I'm butt acting.
Yeah. You mad? Are you anxious? You know? To the
That's
city.
But you know what, Nolan? Most people are like that. I find that there's a dream or a goal,
Hmm.
but no map.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be here, but there's no plan on how to get from here to there.
But his
And-
plan was so illogical.
Okay, so how did you get him there, Jamie? Because we know it wasn't Nolan. So how did you get him there?
I told him it made no sense.
Okay.
That like, because it's hard to become a Hollywood A-list actor. Like, how is that
Really?
gonna happen? Well, we could do a game show.
But how did you get him to the game show? Because it actually happened.
I don't know.
Your sister helped, and they
Well,
got
Where can,
together.
where can
so-
we find this show? Let's play
So
the
so
game.
what happened is she challenged me to figure out like so what she'll do is she'll tell me how terrible my idea is and then challenge me to come up with a better one. And then if I do and I kind of just throw out all kinds of ideas. Like coming up with ideas is not hard for me. It's
Yeah.
picking the right one.
Sure.
And then she'll be the one like, okay, that makes
Well, and
sense.
then executing it.
Yeah. And then she'll be like, okay, how are you gonna execute it? And I'll say, well, can you do this and this? And she'll like, all right. But so what ended up happening out of that was creating this, what we wanted to do was do like a local game show, but with people that what makes it easy to get contestants and stuff like that. And it's not difficult. It's not like trivia where it's like, oh, you gotta find smart people who know things. So we happen to have a really talented and creative couple of friends, one of which is Kyle's sister, Jill, and her friend Angel. And the two together at the school that they work at, they would make all these incredible shows and programs and stuff. And they would tell us about all these like little games that they'd make the kids do and the faculty do. And so I called them up and I said, I have this idea to do a local game show. Can you guys just come up with like party style games, like, like minute to win it kind of games? And what we'll do is we'll just have random contestants pulled out of the audience and we'll just tell them as they're on stage, like what they're going to be doing and what the rules of the game are and stuff. And they're like, yeah, we got like tons of games already. So,
Wow.
so they just come up with ideas of games using like normal household items, like cotton balls and, Vaseline and rulers and all that kind of stuff. And they come up with like the funniest takes on these games. And so we're like, okay, we have a game concept. I have an excuse for me to bring up strangers. I can, talk story with them a little bit first, get them to do silly, wacky things. It'll go by fast and we can always change the game. So it's not like the same game every episode. So the cool part is like every episode is a different game and it's relatable where people can see it and go like, hey, we can play this at our next family's party. Like I got that at home. And so it's also fun for the family to not only watch, but try to do themselves. And it's taken off from there. And we were fortunate that we were able to get like a partner in International Marketplace who is like, oh yeah, you can use our stage. We'll provide you with prizes. And it's a win-win for both them and us where we have a location and an audience and a really recognizable platform. And then for them, it's like giving more activities for their customers, giving an excuse for locals to come down and
You guys got
enjoy.
game sponsors too, right? That sponsor some prizes and stuff.
So all of the games, the prizes are coming from international marketplace, and they get them from all of their different
The
stores and
vendors.
That's
restaurants.
awesome.
Yeah, so
Because they tell the
they
vendors,
support-
give us prizes.
no,
Yeah.
they actually get it. They purchase it from them. Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
they're
Wow.
like really supportive of their vendors.
You ever thought
Yeah.
about taking that on the road? Like you
Yeah.
guys could do corporate events
Yeah.
and parties and
Mhm.
stuff like that too.
Yeah, so that's
They
also
gotta-
in the works too.
That's where I come in. Because then I get
You always
hired.
trying to weasel your way into being
Yeah,
a part of
yeah. Because I watched the thing and I got all coveting and I was like, damn.
You had your game
Oh,
show chance already.
Yeah,
No,
that's
no,
where
I'm
I
just
got the
saying.
idea. I was like, Devon used to have a game
Yeah.
show. I'm gonna do that now too.
What else you want to do?
Yeah.
That I can
No,
help
but-
you with
but,
it.
What
but it's
else has
also,
he done?
and I don't mean just me, but I mean there's other people who could do this for them so that they put it on. They
Is that other
talk
people
to-
you?
No, not necessarily me.
Oh.
But like, yeah, me. But there are other people that we know who are friends of ours who are.
Oh no,
who
we
are-
got tons of friends that
Yeah.
could run
Like,
the thing.
Way
you know?
better than Devon.
No, like Steph would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steph would be amazing
Daryl.
at doing. Daryl,
So don't
those
worry.
guys.
We also have
Charlie.
other
Yeah.
shows that we've
Oh.
gotten work that it's gonna
Okay,
work with
okay,
them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
And
but
I
even your
particularly
show,
thought of someone
even your
like
show, like
Kyle would love it.
I would think during the holiday season, some place like Wynwood Mall, Pearl Ridge,
Yeah.
like any of those that have like a stage setup or just an area where you
Or-
can set up something and tell them all, hey, we're gonna run this. You guys, right?
I'm even thinking company Christmas parties and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that could be a
Totally.
huge.
I'm totally
You know,
stealing
like-
it for a Christmas party I'm doing.
Yeah,
Well,
you can, because I've stolen many things from you as well. Fair is fair. But we did do that for one of the elementary schools. They had
Yeah.
like a going away
Oh,
party for their
nice.
principal.
See?
So
Yeah.
like they asked me to come down and bring Let's Play the game to their school.
Nice.
Awesome.
And they had the different faculty challenge the principal, the
Yeah.
outgoing principal, and these games.
Plus,
and stuff.
you guys run KHON and stuff.
Yeah,
too,
that
and-
was awesome.
Yeah.
Like Mikey Moniz. One day I get this message and it's like, "Hey Nolan, it's Mikey Moniz from KHON." I'm like, "What?" And I
Well,
just
you even did the voice, bro.
just-
right?
just 2 or 3 days prior, I had told her like, it'd be like sometimes I give like these like cloud talk.
Sometimes. Every day.
No, no.
So kind of along the line of like, wouldn't it be cool if I'm walking through the mall and some Hollywood producer comes, "Hey, you want to be the star of the next Marvel movie?" But so same thing. I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool if just like one of the local news stations just called and was like, "Hey, can you come on and be on our network?"
and they
And
called.
like I got this voicemail and he's like, "We saw you in your YouTube show and wanted to know, would you be willing to come in and do it on Living 808?" I was like, it happened. Holy smokes.
I just won $1 million. Yeah.
So yeah.
So
they've been
Jamie, he
bringing me
can
in.
manifest his own
See,
thinking.
if it's
and
realistic, it's not like, can I be a Hollywood star so I can get a game?
But if any Hollywood producers are watching this, you can make that happen and help me save face. There's no problem in me getting all of my fantasies. come true.
Exactly.
You hear that, Byron Allen?
He really likes you. Byron.
Yeah, he does, Byron.
You
He's
saw how
great.
good of an actor was? I seem so realistic that I said that I. Truth is, I think you're fantastic.
All right. Well, we're going to break for our Patreon now. Thanks
Oh, wow.
very much, Nolan and Jamie, for coming in.
Wait. Let's ask Jamie her Desert Island disc.
Oh, okay. We can do that.
She doesn't.
Because
Oh,
you're gonna have an interesting one from her,
Yeah,
guaranteed.
yeah.
All right. Okay. So, Jamie, for our last question, we ask all of our guests. We have already done this with Nolan, so that's why we're not asking him. If you were stranded on a desert island
Her playlist is gonna be way different than mine.
Yeah.
for the rest of eternity, and it could only take 3 albums with you to
Or
listen
CDs
to
or tapes.
for the rest of time,
Or 3
what
artists.
would those 3 albums be?
Don't worry, we're not actually sending you to a deserted island where you
not
will
part
only
of-
be listening to this.
Not part of our podcast.
You don't have to think
Yeah.
too hard. Off the top of your head.
Off the top
Yeah.
of my head. Losing streak less than Jake. I know
Okay.
you guys
Wow.
don't know
Okay.
that.
Okay.
That is.
I know who Less
I
Than
know
Jake
this
is,
is
but
Jake, yeah.
Rent original Broadway soundtrack.
Nice. Okay.
Wow.
That's cool.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
This is a point of
Oh.
contention with us too, because she loves it so much. And then when she hears the story of when I went to watch Rent on Broadway,
Oh, you fell asleep?
I fell asleep, and she
Yeah.
gets so angry.
Hmm.
So people are like, "Did you watch Rent?" She's like, "He fell asleep during it on Broadway."
This
Oh my
is one
Was
thing
it
I
was it
agree
the
with
original
Steph
was it
on.
the original cast too?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think
Still though, it was Broadway.
so. He's too
Yeah.
young.
Yeah. And then
Oh no, a third one. Oh. Wait, I can't think on the spot.
is there too many songs running around in your head?
I just because
What did you name your kid after?
It's okay.
What?
Well, what
Your kid's
the-
name.
Oh no, but that wasn't my call.
I thought you were a Nine Inch Nail fan.
I only liked some of them.
Oh, okay.
But Trent Reznor was because of the musicianship.
Yeah?
And that
Yeah.
was the father. I picked Wessy's name.
Oh,
Oh, as in, Princess Bride.
okay.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Of course.
But
gotta
they
do
never
that.
made an album for
Okay, wait,
Princess
fine,
Bride. so-
distracting. Okay, just do an artist then. Just do an artist because you did 2 albums, so just do an artist.
I don't even know. I don't want to.
You went to all these concerts where you know messed up your hearing and everything else. I mean,
Tantra Monsters.
Mm.
Wow.
Oh
I've never
man,
heard of that.
Tantra
Wow,
Monsters.
Tantra Monsters.
Tantra
Dang.
I don't know who that
Monsters.
is. You don't know who
I
that is.
saw
Mike
them
Cueva
so many
guys, right?
times.
I don't know.
Yeah. Local band.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
they're
okay.
local.
Tantra Monsters.
Okay,
All right.
Hey,
thank you.
would it be okay if we bring up one more thing that we're doing that is really something
Oh, the
close
video
to-
thing?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, please.
Sure.
Is
We,
that
we should have
okay?
covered
Yeah,
that.
of course. Of course. Sorry we didn't mention it.
No, because I think this.
What?
Because I mean, I feel bad that we had JB out here and we're just talking about me and what I want to do, but this is something that really that we're doing together. That is something that means a lot to her, which is we've just launched a new product and service, which is called Pop Legacy Videos, which is preserving loved ones and Kupuna's stories and life stories through videos and stuff. And it's interesting because when Jamie first started going into this career of making videos and stuff, she always wanted to, her thing was like, I just want to make videos that'll make the world a better place. And then she found out that she had to make money and that doesn't do it. So she went on this long journey of doing commercials and that kind of stuff. But it's gotten us to this point where now we can make the world a better place through the videos. We are doing like telling stories, helping people tell their stories and such. And so these Pop Legacy videos has been really meaningful because not only do we get the privilege of hearing all these amazing stories of people's lives, but being able to preserve them for their families and seeing how much it means to them and for capturing it for their like grandchildren and such. So it's something that we're like very excited about, but it's also super cool because the community, when they hear about it, they're just like, well, this makes so much sense. Like, why haven't we been doing this from
What
the
is it?
beginning?
Like a wedding slideshow kind of thing of somebody's life? Or how do you guys?
So we
What does it
have
look
different types of things, but the main one, so there's could be one like that, but the main one that's the most, I guess, relevant right now that we're trying to promote is we sit down with either, the person or the couple, and it doesn't have to be Kupuna, but that seems to be the ones that really people really need to get now, especially because you never know with time and stuff. But we sit across them and we interview them for hours and hours, and we just get all of their life stories and stuff. And it's really unique because having like a stranger asking, you get an authentic, fresh ear. And so a lot of the times they're like excited to share these stories.
Is it a lot easier if they're kids and everybody wasn't there too, so they could share stuff?
Usually, because a lot of times they're even though they know this, isn't the daughter or the son isn't doing the interview, they don't want to be judged by hearing, and they like, oh, well, they all know this story already. And I'm like, no, but I don't know this story. And your grandchildren who haven't been born yet don't know this story. So, let's talk about it. But the idea is that we gather all of these stories and then we have Jamie do her magic work of
thing, man.
piecing them all together, because a lot of people just ramble and this disjointed, like they'll talk about a story and then 20 minutes later, like, oh yeah, I forgot. Let me bring back to this and stuff. And so she takes it all together and puts them into what we call video chapters. And so it's not just like one long, like 2-hour biography video. It's like, here's a chapter, 5-10 minutes on, growing up in Wailua, and then here's.
I don't know how you cut all that stuff down, Jimmy. The editing ability that you have, the eye that you have to see that this is the thing that we should put in this, and then just edit out that stuff and edit out that stuff, and you know what I mean? Because it really is a skill that you have, because you have to. And we've seen it on all the videos that you do for Ohia or whatever, that you just know where to.
It's a skill, man.
What to pick.
It is.
Yeah, and I don't know how. Is that just an eye thing? Is it something that you worked on, or?
I don't.
Because you're looking at like 3 hours of stuff, and you're going, okay, we
Yeah.
can take 10 minutes here and like 5 minutes here and 10 minutes here, and you always pick the right one.
I heard like some people work off a transcript and then you have to like go through it all and like try to put it together, but it's just how my brain works. I don't know. I don't know how I found it. It just was kind of natural.
Wow.
Like that was what my first boss told me, that this is like a gift.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah. Cause she saw a project that I was working on with me and my friend. And she's like, that's something that you can do that I haven't seen before.
Huh?
Wow.
I always liken her to like an interpreter. You have people who speak a certain language, and in this case, like telling a story, whether how good or bad of a storyteller they are, but she's able to take it and interpret it through her videos and her edits to the audience for them to go like, oh, this means so much to me. That resonates with me, and that's interesting to me. And so I always look at her as like that kind of like her translation tool is through her video work and editing and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty
like
awesome.
that Ohia video that you did for us, you distilled, I don't know, how many hours of tape was that?
It's like over 150 or something like that.
Hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like 150 hours. She distilled it into like an hour and a half movie. 150 hours. 150 freaking hours of video. And she distilled it into an hour and a half. And you felt like you were there, and you know what I mean? Like
It was a great movie.
Yeah, it was a great movie, and it captured us and everything that we all felt about each other and the work and everything else. And I was like,
Yeah.
what?
And
How do you
Devon was in that movie.
That was the last time we
that
did
was the last
anything.
time they used me, man.
Well, I was gonna say, for this new project, when did you interview Devon yet?
His story is still being written.
Yeah.
Since I'm on the downside.
It would be like
The ride is
VH1, the
over.
rise and fall of Devon Nekoba. Once a promising young star.
I'll watch that movie. I'll watch that movie.
Well, thank you both for coming in. We really appreciate it. We're gonna do a Patreon real quick, and thank you everybody for tuning in on YouTube. We will see you next
See you later.
week.